The NFL didn't expect this reaction, but they should have. Because when Deion Sanders feels disrespected, especially when it involves his son, he doesn't stay quiet. He goes straight at the system. And this time it wasn't about a bad night or hurt feelings. It was about what he believes the league tried to do behind the scenes, and why he finally snapped. For months, Shedeur Sanders was viewed as one of the most polarizing quarterback prospects in the draft. Not because of his talent, that was never the question. The tape was clear. Production under pressure, toughness behind shaky protection, leadership in chaos. None of that was debated. But as draft season approached, the conversation quietly shifted away from football, and that's when alarms went off. Instead of breaking down reads or arm strength, reports started surfacing about interviews, body language, how he carries himself. Anonymous executives whispering that teams didn't vibe with him, and Deion immediately recognized the pattern. Because in the NFL, when they don't want you, they stop talking ball and start talking character. Confidence gets reframed as arrogance. Leadership becomes a red flag, and suddenly, traits that are praised in other quarterbacks become reasons to hesitate. What made it worse was the silence. Nobody went on record. Nobody explained specifics. They hid behind anonymity and let the narrative do the damage. Deion called that out because he knows how powerful that kind of messaging can be. Once those ideas are planted, teams start drafting scared. And that fear showed itself on draft night. Pick after pick went by. Quarterbacks with less responsibility, less production, and far less pressure in college systems were flying off the board. Deion knew what was happening in real time. This wasn't evaluation anymore. This was positioning. When Shedeur's name was finally called, it didn't feel like validation. It felt like survival. And Deion said it straight up. That draft slot didn't reflect the player. It reflected politics. Then came the spin. Almost immediately, the story turned into how the slide would humble Shedeur, how this would be good for him. Deion rejected all of it, because there's a difference between competition and disrespect, a difference between development and manipulation. And watching his son get framed as a problem instead of a prospect permanently changed how Deion viewed the league. But here's where the story took a turn the NFL didn't expect. Once Shedeur actually got on the field, the narrative started cracking. Thrown into real action, he didn't look overwhelmed. He didn't look rattled. He looked prepared, calm in collapsing pockets, commanding protections, taking hits, getting back up, and keeping the offense moving. And suddenly, all those pre-draft concerns went quiet. Coaches praised his preparation. Teammates vouched for his leadership. The same traits he was criticized for magically showed up once the draft was over. Funny how that works. Instead of owning the shift, critics moved the goalposts. When he played well, it was situational. When he showed leadership, it was coincidence. When he battled adversity, it was called a small sample size. The language kept changing because the original arguments didn't hold up anymore. Then came the moment that really exposed the contradiction: league recognition. When Shedeur earned major acknowledgement,